over something so petty. I died over 30.
A father met his demise in front of his daughter. Let's talk about this one. Aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, and friends, make sure to hit the like button when you come in. This is a story that continuously breaks my heart, and I had deep emotion and cried several times and thought of, is this the right thing to do? And I think it is, and it's with good intent, and I hope that can be understood if family and friends ever see this video. So on May 22nd, 2024 in Toledo, Ohio, Joshua Jericho Davis made a post. He went live. His page is open to the public for anyone to view. But in that live, he is telling a story about a man that became angry with him because he had $21. You see, Mr. Davis sold bottles at a discounted price, and the price of the bottle was $30. The man became angry and threatened to take Mr. Davis out, for lack of better words. Now, he's seen talking to an unnamed or shown man in this live, and Mr. Davis says in that same video, when he did this before, and not in those exact words, but he was alluding to the same party doing this before when they were intoxicated, but he was saying this time around he wasn't. In other words, this man knew what he was doing. So Mr. Davis knew exactly who it was. And so does the unnamed party, and probably many others. Fast forward to June 15th at 4 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Davis is live again, and he shares that he is watching a movie with his daughter on the projector. And if you see Mr. Jericho Davis' Facebook page, it seems like this is something that he likes to do. He seemed to be a family man. He seemed to truly love his children. He would do bonfires. He would sit out in the pool. And in another live, Mr. Davis is seen sitting on his porch. I do not know the date of that, but he has 2 iguanas on his shoulder, and he's telling a story that he went to Atlanta for a funeral. And when he returned, his entire house, basically, he was moved out. They took his safe, all of his belongings, TVs, and Mr. Jericho Davis asked, how does this occur on my street? And no one seems to have seen anything. I was basically moved out of my home. To me, that paints a very, very sad tale, because oftentimes we can surround ourselves with people that you might think they have good intent, but all the while they do not. Sometimes people will sit and smile next to us, but they are truly not our friends. On June 15th, less than 30 days later, during the live stream on Facebook, Mr. Jericho Davis is outside on the couch with his child watching a movie. You do not see the man's face, but you hear the voice of a man approach the window, and he asks for the price of a bottle. He wanted Tito's. Mr. Davis asks who the man is, and the man does provide a name along with other names. Mr. Davis tells him the price, and in return, the man says, okay, bet, opens fire. I had to remove the audio of this, 1, for respect, and 2, because it's that triggering. Because you hear Mr. Davis in that same audio that was streaming live on Facebook after he struck, he says a profanity. He falls to the ground, and you hear about 3 moans, and then you don't hear them anymore. But the moans are the sounds of somebody that's succumbing to their injuries. Those are the moans of someone that you know is hurt badly and they might not recover. But if that's not heartbreaking enough, a child, I believe age 11, she's not older than 13. It's between 10, 11, or 12, I believe 11. But a child nonetheless, that sees her father in this instance now has to get up from the couch, and she's screaming, ow, and says, I was hit. A child in 2024 had to say that I was hit. Those are words that should never come from a child, whether it's abuse, but for a child to say that it was hit by bullets breaks your heart. And she goes in the home. On the Facebook live stream, the man enters the frame at about the 1 hour and 3 minute mark, and literally within 60 seconds, everything changes. Police arrive around the 1 minute and 10 mark, and I have my personal feelings about certain men in blue, but due to some personal relationships and family, I know that they're all not the same. But in this instance, I'm very pleased to see the response time and the arrival time, and for the men that stayed there and worked on him. Oftentimes you can see certain officers treat our men as if they are trash, but they attempted to save this man's life and they worked on him repeatedly. In the video after Mr. Jericho Davis is struck, I do not know the other parties that were seen in the video, but you can see that Mr. Davis laid out on that floor until paramedics arrived by himself. That was of great concern to me, and it was hurtful to me because I can only imagine having that happen in your last moments. There's no one by your side saying fight. There's no one, no family or friends that could there, although again, I do not know the people in the home or if they were devastated or shocked. Everyone handles trauma differently, so I'm not one to judge. But in those instances, you would want someone by you to say fight, to keep you here longer, because who knows, maybe it could have made a difference. Again, I removed the audio because I think those are sounds that I probably would not get out of my head, and I'm not even related to this man nor know him. This is just a story that appeared. My reason for doing a video such as this is when we hear certain stories, like I remember where I was when I heard about Trayvon Martin, certain things happen where I feel like more people in our community need to know about what's going on. To the young men or older men or whoever is responsible for this, look at the video on the screen. And I urge you to watch this video about the real horror stories of jail and what has occurred to some men in there, and the PTSD and the diseases that they have and the unalivings that they've viewed all in jail. And ask yourself, if this is connected, and this really is over a $30 bottle of Tito's, is your life worth $30? Because either way, you have ended your life and many others around you for $30. Because let's be honest, we know the game and we know how things occur. So whether you're in jail, you've now ended your life for $30, but you've now put people close to you in harm's way, all for a decision, because you never know how people handle pain. You never know if you're going to meet somebody that has that same energy and might want to return the favor. That's how the streets go, unfortunately. So we ask ourselves, when is enough enough and when is it going to stop? Because it's a never ending cycle. To the person that made the decision to pull that trigger, you have not only placed a value of $30 on your life because it's over, whether it's through demise or through jail, you've done that to those around you. You've placed them in harm's way. And they're innocent bystanders. So we need to ask ourselves, are these decisions worth it? What's even more heartbreaking of this story, Mrs. Davis, the mother of Mr. Jericho Davis, posted that the memorial funds were withdrawn from that fund. That's heartbreaking to see. Her Cash App is in the post in the beginning in the video because Mr. Jericho Davis left family behind. He left children behind, and he has a daughter that's still in the hospital due to her injuries and being struck by a child. She's still in the hospital, and her father is going to be buried in 24 to 48 hours. The trauma that this daughter is going to receive, the video that she's probably going to see for years to come, she's going to relive this for quite some time. So for any party to take from a memorial fund that can help that young lady and other children, it's very heartbreaking. All of this alleged, I do not know. I only know the post that I found on Facebook. This is a very heartbreaking story. To the family and friends and all that love Jericho Davis, you have my deepest sympathies, because this is one that broke my heart, and this is something that I feel needs to be shared, of how senseless and how ruthless some people could be. It's never worth that much. I remember back in the day, you just resolve things with a good fighting. You fight it out. Are we making the decision to remove fathers based off of $30? Because I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that's not the case, because that is inhumane. That is acting off of impulse and emotion, and it's not worth it at the end of the day. It brings a lot of harm your way and your family and friends off of that decision. I wish the family well. I hope that young baby girl continues to fight and heal in the hospital And this is heartbreaking and was very hard for me to do and share. But know that it's people like this around us that exist that engage in this type of behavior that will do this to a fellow human being. It's not worth it. The streets aren't worth it. I urge so many to look and maybe live your life differently and understand that home ownership and family and friends and just being out of the way is 100% okay. And it's even more okay to keep your circle very small, because everybody that smiles at you is not your friend. It's time to live differently. Again, my deepest condolences to the family and friends and to that beautiful, precious baby girl. May you continue to fight and heal. And I'm so sorry for the pain that you are going to experience and continue to experience for years to come. This should have never happened. As always, stay true to you, draw your own conclusions, and make sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe.